Okay, so the final thing that I want to cover is a little bit of a breakdown by channel, by paid channel. I'm not going to go too deep, but I'm going to try to help you start to interpret some of this stuff if you're looking at it right now. A lot of times there's an additional meeting just completely focused on paid ads. So I'm going to go through a couple of the most important metrics for Facebook and Google. And anywhere you're spending money, you should be trying to figure out what are the most important metrics that matter. And so for businesses like this, Facebook is always almost completely focused on top of funnel. You can basically reach very large audiences of people that don't know your business. You can also target people who have interacted with your business, but most of your spend is generally going towards what we call prospecting, which is acquiring new users. Google is generally focused on bottom of the funnel. So you're doing a lot of remarketing. So you're showing banner ads to people who added to cart or who've been to your website, or you are targeting people who are searching for something similar to your products. They're already looking to buy something like your product. So you can't grow your business very well with Google. Certain things like with YouTube, it's possible, but Facebook is more for growing your businesses, and Google is more for sort of like converting your customers. Obviously, certain businesses can grow with search, like keyword search campaigns. So that's not like a you know catch-all definition for each one, but for our business, that is sort of how it works. And so we're saying last 7 days, you have Facebook and you have Google. These are a couple of the metrics that you're going to want to track. So you have total spend, and you can see that we spent up on Facebook. And so I think we can even just show, week over week, one divided by the other. So Facebook, Google, and maybe we could just say week over week. Okay, so Facebook, Google. So link clicks, platform revenue, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so let's look at this. So we said we spent up 50% on Facebook week over week. Impressions, these are the number of people that we actually showed our ads to. And the CPM is it's called the cost per mil, and it just means how much did you pay on average to show an ad to 1,000 people. So a CPM of $21 is, it's a CPM, the type of CPM you see. Sometimes CPMs are much higher than this number, but we're saying that we paid $21 to show our ads every 1,000 times on Facebook. And so if we had 9,305 link clicks, meaning people that actually clicked the button on our ad, shop now or learn more or whatever the button is, that means that 1.3% of people who saw the ads clicked them. And that's our CTR, which is the click-through rate. So 1.3% click-through rate. And that means that we paid $15,000 for 9,000 clicks. And so our cost per click, which is the CPC, is 1.62. Generally on Facebook, if your performance is changing a lot, for better or for worse, you'll either see a big swing in the CPM, a big swing in the click-through rate, or a big swing in your conversion rate here. So when you're trying to diagnose performance on one specific channel, especially a paid channel, go to those three metrics: cost per mil, click-through rate, conversion rate, and one of those, if not multiple, will have changed. So the confusing thing is after iOS 14 happened in 2021, Facebook basically can't see very many conversions anymore. So they're reporting things that are basically modeled conversions. A lot of their conversions are now just made up. And it's very, very hard. The data from the platform, once people leave the Facebook platform and they go onto your website, it's very unreliable because Facebook a lot of times can't see what that person does. And so they're just kind of modeling and making up numbers. And so you'll see the platform rev might say 28,000 of revenue, and the ROAS is the revenue divided by the spend. It's called return on ad spend. They might say 1.9. But when you look on a last click basis, meaning if you look in Google Analytics, you're going to see very different numbers. So we're saying that we saw 14,000. And so on a last click basis, people that clicked an ad directly came straight to the website. We're saying our last click ROAS was 1. Of course, that's missing all the people that saw our ad or clicked on our ad, but then they left, and then they came back through an email, or they came through Google, or they came through some other channel. So we've lost the ability to really get a full attribution, or people who, saw an ad a week ago and then came back today. We've lost the ability to track all these people. So it's good to just kind of look at both now and see, the true reality is higher than this number, and it might be around this number, it could be lower, it could be higher, and just compare them to see how synced up they are. And so, you know, what we're really trying to do is compare it week over week. So with Google, you have basically all the same metrics, although with Google, you're focused more on remarketing. So you should see a much higher amount of revenue because you're targeting people who are already interested in the brand. And so total spend 3,000, CPM $14, cost per click $4, and then revenue out of Google's platform would maybe be a 5.6, and then last click revenue we're saying is a 2.8 ROAS. And so you see these numbers, you compare it week over week, and we're basically saying that we see a big lift in spend, we see a big lift in link clicks, meaning people who clicked on our Facebook ads. The platform data is kind of unreliable, but on the last click basis, we saw a really big lift on Facebook, and then also a pretty big lift on Google, probably because once you drive these people to the website, especially if they're already interested in the business, then they're more likely to convert. And so this is just sort of like a mini paid dashboard to get you started on trying to break down some of this paid data.